The world sees a shepherd, but God sees a king. A Sunday church message about the story of David. Have you ever felt overlooked? Have you ever stood in a room full of important people and felt invisible? Maybe you were the last one picked for the team. Maybe your name was forgotten in a meeting. It is a lonely feeling, is it not? The world has a way of measuring us with its own ruler. It measures our height, our bank account, our titles and accomplishments. And by that ruler, we often feel like we do not measure up. We feel small. We feel ordinary, like a shepherd boy in a world that pays attention to soldiers and kings. If you have felt that way, you need to hear the story of David. David knew what it was like to be on the outside looking in. He was the youngest in a big family. His job was not glamorous. He did not sit at the council tables or wear a warrior's armor. He spent days in quiet fields with his father's sheep. The sun his companion, the bleating of the flock his soundtrack. To the world, just a boy doing a boy's job. Not the first choice for a great task. Not the one anyone would choose for a crown. But God sees differently. God saw more than a shepherd. He saw a king in waiting. His story whispers to every heart that feels small. God's measuring stick is not the world's. He is not impressed by our resumes, nor swayed by our appearance. He looks past what we build up and looks at the heart. David's journey from the fields to the throne began with this truth. A young man with a heart leaning toward God, that was qualification enough. His story invites you to believe that God sees you too. This is where hope begins. There is a sentence that unlocks David's story. It turns the lock on our feelings of inadequacy. 1 Samuel 16:7. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Let those words sink in. This is how God chooses. Samuel comes to Bethlehem on a secret mission to anoint a king. Jesse lines up his sons, tall, strong, impressive. Samuel thinks, surely this is the one. But God corrects him. You are looking at the outside, I look at the heart. One by one, 7 sons, God says no. There is still the youngest, tending the sheep. He walks in from the fields, unaware life is about to change. Rise and anoint him, this is the one. A shepherd boy is secretly crowned king. The Spirit of the Lord comes upon him. Outside, nothing changes. Inside, everything does. Before he was king, he was a student in the lonely university of the pasture. His subjects were courage, patience, and dependence on God. He faced danger, lion and bear, and stood his ground. He learned tenderness, caring for the weak and searching for the lost. He learned to worship. Many psalms were born in those fields. The Lord is my shepherd. This was his lived experience, guided, protected, provided for. Then came the day that defined his legacy. Goliath, a towering champion, mocked Israel for 40 days. The army saw size, armor, and a spear like a weaver's rod. Their courage melted like snow in the sun. David came as a delivery boy and heard the blasphemy. Something ignited, not pride, but righteous anger. While others asked, how big is the giant? David asked, how big is my God? This is the turning point in every battle. Eyes of fear or eyes of faith. Saul offered armor, the world's solution to a worldly problem. I cannot go in these. He chose what he knew, a staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones, and trust in God.
Am I a dog?
David's confidence was not in stones, but in the God who had delivered him.
You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty.
He reframed the battle. God's honor, God's fight, a single, well-aimed shot. The great man fell face down. A shepherd boy did what an army could not, by trusting God. Use simple gifts learned in quiet places and offer them to God. He wins victories still told today. This shift in perspective turns shepherds into giant slayers and ordinary people into heroes of faith. The victory was public, but the road to the throne was long. David did not become king overnight. He became a hero, a commander, and a songwriter who soothed Saul. But Saul's admiration turned to jealous rage. David fled to caves. After hardship, David became king, united the nation, and established Jerusalem. He was not too proud to worship, yet his human heart failed. Adultery and murder brought pain and loss.
Confronted by Nathan, David did not hide. He broke and prayed, "Have mercy on me, O God. Create in me a pure heart."
God forgave him. Consequences remained, but grace restored. God did not discard him. He continued to use him. David's story is a living promise for you, right now. From pasture to palace, through triumph and failure, one truth stands. If you offer God your heart, He will see you, choose you, and use you. No matter how small you feel or how big your giant seems. What you have in your hand is enough when placed in His. Is it a kind word, a listening ear, a simple talent? Offer your sling and stones. Your past mistakes do not disqualify you. His grace is larger than your sin. If you have fallen, turn your heart back to Him. He is ready to forgive and restore. We began with feeling small and overlooked. God turned a forgotten shepherd into a giant slayer, a worshiper, and a king. His true strength was a heart for God. Whatever your Goliath, debt, a diagnosis, a broken relationship, addiction, do not look only at the outside. Come against your giant in the name of the Lord Almighty. Trust God in your pasture. Use what you have. When you fall, run to His grace. Will you offer Him your heart today?